In a world where the left has gone absolutely insane, it's very interesting to see what it is that finally draws pastors out of their "I'm not going to talk about culture or politics" bubble and finally gets them to condemn someone. Unfortunately, I find that with a lot in our Christian ecosystem, it's usually people on the right who manage to get pastors inspired enough about social issues to finally say something. I'm not a proponent of no enemies on the right because I think the truth is the truth, and if someone's saying something that's not true, they should be opposed. Yet there's also something to be said about knowing the times and seasons. The Bible talks about this a lot. You can tell a lot about a pastor by who he decides to criticize and in what political moments. We live in a world where the left is going crazy, pursuing infanticide through abortion, from conception till even after birth in some cases. They're completely trying to override God's design for children in gender and sexuality. The propaganda they try to push in schools is absolutely atrocious and should not even be countenanced as a place where your children would sit under their instruction. It boggles the mind that this is even up for debate in the Christian circles that I'm in. It's not appropriate. And so it's really weird to me when I see pastors in the cool kids Christian ecosystem who decide that, in the light of all this, of all the craziness going on, you know what the world needs to hear? The world needs to hear that we condemn Doug Wilson. We don't stand for Doug Wilson around here. Look, Doug Wilson's not perfect, and I'm not here to defend or criticize him. I don't care. I'm not Doug Wilson. Doug Wilson's the one who's going to answer to God for the actions of Doug Wilson, not me. Generally, I will say I tend to support him and agree with most of the things he says, but again, I'm also not here to hash that out. What I'm here to say is, by and large, Doug Wilson is a Christian man who speaks things that are true with courage. And so when you hear your pastor decide that, of all the hot-button cultural issues in the world, the pastor's finally going to speak out about something current and present and contemporary about culture, what's it going to be? Is it going to be on gay marriage? Is it going to be on LGBT issues? Is it going to be on the indoctrination in our schools? Nope. The person he needs to call out by name is Doug Wilson. I think that's a shame. And so if your pastor can only manage to find his spiritual cojones when it comes to criticizing the right, I think you got the wrong pastor. Another case I see around here, someone came out, actually it was Doug Wilson, came out and said that it's a sin to send your children to public school. I can't tell you how many times I have seen Christians, ostensibly good, decent, lowercase o, Orthodox Christians, get all up in arms because I say something mildly negative about the public school system. Yet when the left comes out and says something very degrading and very false about homeschooling, those pastors are completely silent. They're all about respecting each other's opinions and letting everyone's voice be heard. What does this tell you? That the pastor's true motivation is not defending people's freedom of choice or freedom of speech or freedom to decide what to do with their kids. He doesn't care when it comes to homeschooling, but when it comes to public school, the pastor really wants that defended. Just raises some questions.